Check. Oh, I'm number 2. That's weird. Why am I number 2?
Screw it up.
Don't. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Models and Movies. Today, I have a very special guest with me, and she contacted me, yesterday? And said, what are you doing tomorrow? And I said, this. And here you are. This is Bich.
Hey, guys.
Bich, if we've shot many times before. Mm-hmm. And behind me, you're seeing some of the shots that we've done in the past, and they're pretty good. And don't worry. And if people wanted to find you online or something like that, do you have an Instagram?
I do. I
What's
have an
your
Instagram. It's Bich Win Art.
Because you're not just a model, you are an artist.
Mm-hmm.
She's a pretty good artist too. What kind of stuff do you do?
So I work with mixed media and epoxy resin,
Mm-hmm.
and I do multi-layered epoxy art.
I've seen your work. I can't even describe it. It's amazing. I'm actually showing you an idea of what she does behind us right now, and it's really cool. Watching her do it is even better. But anyway, so we watched a movie today, and that movie was a Serbian film. Now, I know you don't like horror films,
No.
but this one was a horror film, and you didn't watch any of the movie because that's not what we watched. What did we watch?
We watched Samurai Cop.
Samurai Cop. So yeah, we watched Samurai Cop.
We did. We watched Samurai Cop.
I'm sorry.
It's not the worst thing.
It was the worst thing. Anyway, let's before we get into Samurai Cop, we have to get into beer of the show. And today's beer of the show is Sakura. I don't know anything about this beer except that it was f***ing expensive. These were $14 each.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Should be good beer.
it's not particularly strong. It's only 5.6%, but it's got a samurai on it. So, samurai. Anyway, so
They paid for the design.
I guess
That's what we're paying for.
Yes, I don't know.
So it has notes of dark sweet cherry and cherry blossom.
I'm kind of excited about that part of this, the cherry and cherry blossom. It smells interesting. Well, that's a good pour. You're good at this.
I like to make it a little foamy.
To you, thank you for coming.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that doesn't taste like beer at all. What does that taste like?
It's a little sour.
Yeah, it tastes like a sour soda. Sour that's
Soda, not too sweet.
really
A little bit of a
interesting.
sweetness. It's not bad.
That's unexpected. Unexpectedly good. Unexpected. Well, I'm just gonna put that here so I can have some of it later. So, okay. I give that a 7 out of 10. All right, so let's talk about Samurai Cop. Samurai Cop is one of those movies that a lot of other reviewers have done because it is so laughably bad.
Everything you did was wrong.
Did you get that impression that it was laughably bad?
There were a lot of moments that I found myself laughing because it was so bad.
It was
pretty bad.
Something. So let's talk about the plot of Samurai Cop. And I always toss that to my guests to say, Bich, what was the plot of this movie? Good luck.
So, So this brings me back to kind of childhood era. The film was created in 1991.
91, yes.
So it kind of brings me back to when I was younger watching movies and shows, and it kind of definitely had that vibe. But I wasn't always sure where the plot was going. I feel like it jumped kind of...
I'm glad you said that, because this movie, it wants to be a Beverly Hills Cop kind of ripoff. It wanted to do like a drug bust, good guys get the bad guys, and then there's samurais in it, and there's a lot of fighting, a lot of sword fighting.
A lot of gang stuff.
A lot of gang stuff. Basically, it was these two guys, Samurai Cop and the Black Cop, And I say that because this movie was racist as fuck.
Captain Roman's gonna burn my ass.
Yeah, he's gonna burn it. Charcoal black.
It is black.
Right on.
I mean, it was
Racist, sexist.
It was, oh
like,
boy.
all of that stuff.
It was as if it was filmed in 1971, but it was 1991. I don't remember it being that bad. But yeah, so they had all the cliches of a cop drama movie. They had all the cliches of an action thriller, action movie, but they just did everything wrong.
Everything you did was wrong.
Basically, if I can remember correctly, it was the cops wanting to stop the drug dealing.
The Katana Gang.
The Katana Gang, the Chinese Katana Gang.
Japanese, I think.
Was it Japanese?
I think Japanese.
Okay.
One of the Japanese gangs.
I almost said whatever, but that's not appropriate. Okay, so
I mean, after watching this movie.
that's a good point. Anyway, so basically that's the entire plot of the movie. Samurai Cop is a long-haired mega man, and he always gets the girl, and he ends up trying to get the girl of the boss of the Yakuza group.
Yeah, so
Not
they
Yakuza,
call him
what is it?
they call him the Katana. They call him
Katana
the
group.
boss man.
The boss man.
Here comes the boss.
Yeah. They bring that up many times so you know that he's a boss man.
Yeah, they identify him, but we're just gonna call him
Fujiyama.
Fujiyama.
Yes, Mr.
You're right.
Fujiyama.
I actually wrote that down, Mr. Fujiyama.
Ha,
the boss.
go
But
me.
we're gonna talk about the characters.
I paid
in just,
attention.
We're
I
gonna
did
talk about
not fall asleep at all.
almost. We're gonna talk about the characters in just a second, but so the rest of the plot is basically a revenge kind of back and forth, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's the simplest plot of ever. All right, so let's talk about the characters then. So obviously the main character, the protagonist, is Samurai Cop.
Samurai Cop.
His name
Joe.
is Joe Marshall. And if there is a more white name out there, I don't know what it is, but he's Samurai Cop. Was it ever explained how he had any samurai powers or skills?
I think it was. It was explained
I
because
didn't watch the movie. I don't know what. It was explained?
Yeah, I think in the beginning they said something about him being shipped from San Diego, and before that he was traditionally trained in Japan.
Oh,
I think
okay.
under samurais or something like that.
I didn't watch that scene. Okay.
So I think that's where he actually got his name.
Okay.
Legitimately.
Did you happen to catch his partner's name, the black cop's name?
Teddy?
We'll call him Teddy. Okay.
think it was Teddy.
So Teddy is his sidekick, his partner, and
He was cool. I liked him.
I did like his character. He was funny in a lot of places. I think he wasn't taking, the actor anyway, was not taking this film very seriously.
You son of a bitch!
Whereas Samurai Cop, totally serious.
He was in.
He was Samurai Cop.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we meet Peggy, who is we meet her as the helicopter pilot.
Yes, she was a helicopter pilot, and she was making like a couple of jokes. We were like, "Whoa,
What's that all about?
Okay, Joe, keep it up.
Oh, it's up and ready. You just keep it warm.
It's warm and ready.
What's going on there?"
Keep it warm for me.
Yes, and then like
Oh,
next
I'll
scene
keep
it
it warm.
cuts.
You
You see her? You see her?
Tits out.
Yeah. Oh, in her butt.
She's
In a nice
wearing
butt.
she's wearing this tiny little thong. You good there? Okay. She's wearing this tiny little thong, and she and Samurai Cop are getting at it.
This is like within the first 5 minutes.
No. That action scene went on for like 12
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
It went
So-
on way too long. But then it like as soon as they wrapped up that scene, like they
Cut, and then
it was
on
a
the
it was a slam cut to them slamming. Mm-hmm. There's some 90s
Oh,
terminology for you.
Oh yeah, so we're talking about the characters.
Patty.
So we'll go
no,
back.
Pamela? No. Peggy.
Peggy.
Okay. So she also flies the helicopter, and she's also just a beat cop, and she's also the love interest of Samurai Cop.
Yes, currently.
And who else?
The captain.
Oh,
Captain is awesome.
Captain Heart Attack. he was out of his mind. The guy who was playing the captain, and he's on the screen at the moment, he was fantastic.
I loved him. I loved him wearing the same tie every time, every
yeah.
scene, same tie.
He
Great.
was
He did his role very well.
He was great, yeah. He read his lines perfectly, and he was always on the verge of a nervous breakdown because of these two guys.
This man has been here 1 week and I almost lost my job. If he's here one more week, I might will end up in jail and die of a heart attack, and I don't like that.
Screwing up and killing people.
Yeah.
These cops just flat out killed people. They didn't even bother to
I mean,
try.
they had no choice, really.
Well,
Those guys were trying to kill them.
I don't know. He cut off the guy's
Stand
arm.
your ground.
He cut off that guy's arm for no good reason.
Was it? Was it really no good reason?
It seemed like no good reason. He was.
He was outnumbered as well.
Was he holding a knife? Or something
He was.
like that,
He
or
was holding
gun?
a knife,
Okay, well.
which
I
he
guess-
got out of the red truck randomly.
Oh, that's right. And you just got to cut off a bitch's arm if he's got a sword. All right. So then we kind of meet more of the Yakuza gang. What is it?
Katana.
Katana
The
gang. You're
Katana.
gonna-
Remember, he
you're gonna
explains
correct
what
me.
that means,
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
and it means samurai sword.
There you go.
Japanese sword. Yeah.
The
Samurai sword.
Got
I
it.
said one of those things. Yeah.
I guess he's right. So yeah, let's talk about the Katana group. So there's Richard Zadar, or Robert Zadar. Robert Zadar.
Which I don't remember his name.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna call him Robert Zadar because everybody who knows bad movies knows who Robert Zadar is. He is the guy with the giant puffy face, and his chin comes out.
And a little man bun.
Oh, well, in this movie he has a man bun, but he's got a face that's this big, and he's got a beard that covers how ridiculous it is. If you had seen him without the beard, you wouldn't believe that that was a real person. You would have thought that was makeup or prosthetics.
Double chin.
Not just double chin, face way further than it should be on the person's skull. He's a
It was
freak.
pretty big there.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature. Anyway, so Robert Zadar is in this movie, and then of course we have Mr. Fujiana, who is the
boss. And then you have the redhead,
Yes,
who is Robert's girlfriend or lover, interest,
we'll call her lover.
accomplice.
Yes. Go-to girl because she gets him in and out of a hospital in
Yeah.
a.
She's a nurse, and she wheels in because she has to clean the trash.
She has to change the trash out.
Yeah.
Hey, where are you going?
I have to change the trash.
Wow. There's so much to cover in this movie, but I forget everything. Anyway.
So characters. So we got the characters.
So those are the three main bad people in the Katana group because there's a whole bunch of other henchmen that
Yeah.
you never know who they are or what they're doing. There was one pervert guy you said. Mm-hmm. He had to rip some woman's shirt open.
You've totally got to find that.
Oh, I'm showing it right now, and I'm probably having a nightmare right now having to blur shit out. But for no reason he rips open this woman's shirt just to show her tits.
Really pervy. It's
We-
like all the extras got paid very well.
You think?
There was a lot of them.
Oh my God, there were tons of extras. I mean, I think that woman who was working the gate remember late in the movie when this woman we had never met her before. She's just working the gate and these guys come in and they start drawing their guns. I think that was like the producer's daughter or something like that, or just some friend of somebody who was like.
They like zoomed in on her for a little while. She had a couple of good face shots.
She had an actual role, an actual speaking part and stuff like that, but
Where did the tall guy with the ponytail go?
He's upstairs with my boss.
yes. So
She pushed a button. It was a big deal.
what was the that's true. She did push a button and it alerted the actors who were actually in the editing bay of this movie as they were editing it.
Who could shoot this in a mafia boss's house?
One of his own men.
And it alerted them that they were coming.
I actually still don't know where that
Weirdest
fits
scene.
in.
Yeah. That's kind of the theme of this movie is that these scenes don't go together.
No,
They
no,
just
they don't.
go from scene to scene to scene, and you're just like, oh, okay, so we're here now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is happening now.
No transitions.
No, there's
and no fades either.
Nope.
Just total
Just
cut,
snap,
next,
snap,
here you
snap,
are.
snap. What else? Are there any other characters that we need? Who is the woman who owned the restaurant?
Oh,
Samurai
so
Cop's second love interest.
second, 10th.
Who's counting?
Yeah. Well, her name was Jennifer,
Jennifer.
and she owns this restaurant because her father had committed suicide. And
We have to
Mr.
we have to talk about the craziest
He
waiter.
was Costa Rican, mind you.
Was he?
Yes, he was
He
Costa
looked
Rican.
Asian.
Yeah, but he said he was Costa Rican.
My cousin's a cop.
Oh, really? Where?
In Costa Rica.
Oh. Good. What's your name?
Alfonso Rafael Federico Sebastian. This is my first name.
What's your last name?
Oh,
That's all right. We just need your first name. Thanks a lot. Bye.
bye-bye. I'll tell my cousin I know you.
That actor went for it. He took the sword, he took the material, and he was just like, I'm gonna do this. And the director was just like,
All right, we have
Okay.
extra time.
fine, whatever.
Okay,
He-
so Jennifer.
Flamboyant. Yes, Jennifer. When do we meet Jennifer?
We meet her because she is getting a gift from Mr. Fujiyama at a nice dinner lunch setting with his gang, his crew.
The whole Fujiyama
Yes.
gang is at Jennifer's restaurant, and Jennifer's there, and they're all eating, and I guess Jennifer is Mr. Fujiyama's girlfriend?
No, so he has supported her and her mother once her father died, and he's pretty much paid for the restaurant in a
Yes.
sense of what he's done for them.
So he's expecting something in return.
Yeah, so she's just entertaining him. And that's why you can see she's a little hesitant. It came off like maybe she was an interest or a girlfriend,
Now
but
that-
she wasn't as into it.
Now that scene makes sense, where he was giving her that gift and she wasn't sure she should accept
Yeah.
it and stuff like that. So yeah, she knew she was going to have to give up the...
Yeah,
What? Oh.
some point maybe. Until of course,
Yes.
then
Yes.
she meets.
Okay.
Then she meets her love.
Yes, and then so while they're having this dinner, Samurai Cop and Reggie,
Teddy.
wow, they bust
We might
in.
have this totally his name.
It doesn't
totally
matter.
wrong.
His name is Reggie at this point. Teddy at this point.
Teddy,
So
yeah.
they bust into their dinner and they start talking about how they're gonna arrest them and they're gonna get in trouble and stuff like that.
Gonna
and,
get his ass.
and he's gonna get his
Send
ass.
him back to Japan.
There you go. And then all of a
bag.
sudden, a Samurai Cop goes,
What's an all-American girl like you doing with a geek like this?
Sploosh.
he is the most inappropriate person I've ever seen.
Oh no! Later on, we've got to totally talk about the nurse.
scene. Oh, the nurse. Oh
Yes.
my God. Okay, so there's this in the opening scene. There's a big van chase with the helicopter, and then the van catches on fire, and then a guy runs out of the van, and he's on fire.
Yeah.
And they put him out, and we think he's dead, but he's not dead. Now he's in the hospital, and the cops, the Samurai Cop and Teddy go to visit him. And how does the nurse scene go?
So she was looking at him, examined him and stuff, and they were like, "What do you mean we can't talk to him?" She was like, "Yeah, wait
In a
2 to
couple
3
of
weeks
when
Yeah.
his lips grow back.
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, next time, bring him in one piece."
Mm-hmm.
Then he was like, "Peace."
Thanks, nurse.
Do you like what you see?
I love what I see.
Would you like to touch what you see?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to go out with me?
Uh-huh. Yes, I would.
Would you like to fuck me?
Bingo.
It's like the stupidest shit I've ever seen a scene ever. Doesn't make any sense.
Like that was scripted.
It must have. Well, anyway, shortly thereafter, after he says bingo, she, off camera, grabs his dick and says,
Doesn't interest me. Nothing there.
Nothing there? Just exactly what would interest you? Something the size of a jumbo jet?
That's pretty much all the characters that are necessary to understand this film. Oh, let's talk about the quality of the film.
So we start off with, so we have video, audio, and music.
So let's talk about the video of this film.
Can I go first?
Please.
Being an artist, I love color.
Being a filmmaker, I understand color correction.
Speechless. I just didn't really, I didn't know that this was possible.
Bick, what color was this film?
Honestly?
Mm-hmm.
The rainbow.
It was a rainbow. So it was yellow.
Yes.
It was blue.
Orange, red,
It was orange,
green,
red,
purple,
and green.
Yes, every color.
Every
of the
color.
rainbow.
And we're not talking just choices made while they were filming, like set dressing and stuff like that, but the actual film was tinged.
I asked
these
that
colors.
at one point.
Yeah.
I said, is this, a special effect? Was this done on purpose?
No. And I explained to her that this is what happens when you just load a camera with whatever film and you have no idea what film it is. Back in the day when they shot with film, you would use daylight film or you would use tungsten film. And you would use that based on how you were shooting. Like if you were shooting outside, you would use daylight film. If you were shooting inside with hot lights, you would be using tungsten film. And that way you would then be able to develop and process and then color correct based on that. Well, they didn't care. They didn't know anything about that. So they just loaded the cameras with whatever film there was and they cross-processed it and it looked horrible. And it came out whatever color it came out.
The white was normally not too bad.
Well, that's what they did. Samurai Cop always wore a white shirt, so they knew that shirt had to be white and screw the rest of the frame.
He
Doesn't
was
matter.
usually some sort of shade of...
Tan?
No,
Red.
red to orange.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like they wanted him to have a tan because he was samurai.
That's true. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. All right, so that was the video. It appeared, if you watch this film, it looks like it was shot in 1971, but we promise this was 1991 that this was shot in.
Video was...
Or was it? I know a little bit about the filming of this, and I'll correct myself on the video behind me if I need to, but this was shot in 1990, and after the principal filming was done, they were cutting it together and they realized they didn't have enough to make a film, or for whatever reason, they had to call back people and do a lot of reshoots in 91 to finish the film. And that's why in several shots you would notice that this guy is wearing a bad wig, and to cover the bad wig in some shots, he's wearing a bad hat on top of his bad wig.
You never told me that.
I did now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
I was wondering why. That was really bad.
In
bad
any
hat.
shot he's wearing a hat, that's a bad wig that he's wearing, and it's just a terrible wig. The guy has beautiful, flowing, amazing hair.
Yeah.
But he had cut it after principal filming, and when they brought him back, they were like, what are we gonna do? Well, put this dumb wig on. So, let's talk about the sound now. How's the sound in this movie?
I feel like there should have been more talk about the video, though.
We could go
Like,
on for
besides
hours.
color, what else?
Cinematography was just atrocious. Atrocious. There were shots where there was
Oh
36
my gosh.
inches of headroom. There were shots where you were trying to see something going on and you just couldn't see it. There were like snap cuts all over the place. And so many scenes where it was like close up, close up, close up, close up. And that's not how you do a scene. That's kind of what I do. I'm a DP, I'm a cinematographer. So like I understand how you are supposed to shoot a scene and not close up, close up, close up, close up, because that just doesn't, you might as well shoot your film in a bedroom. There's no reason to have scenes in big open spaces if you're just gonna do close up on everybody. And then the fight choreography was, anyway.
That was expected, though.
If the movie has a strong point, it's probably the fight choreography, because there was so much of it and everything else was so badly done. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just went in expecting that part was going to be kind of...
I'll say this, the actual actors did all that stunt work. So it's not
Really?
like, yeah, it's not like they had stunt doubles come in to do the hacking and slashing
Oh,
and punching.
yeah, and all the rolling, falling off the side of the...
Oh my God, some of that stuff was hilarious.
Okay, so
Oh,
audio.
boy. Audio.
What did you think about the audio?
I heard some of the lines. Some of the music was in the film, but there were a lot of scenes where there was just nothing. There was silence except for the dialogue. Unless there's a super important reason to have no sound in your scene, you probably want to have some sort of score or some sort of background noise going on. And there were just so many scenes in this where there was nothing and it was just like awkward. And then there was like weird love scenes where they shoved music into it and it just sounded dumb.
Well, for that I would go back with also video. There were a lot.
Oh my God.
There were a lot of sex scenes in this that weren't really like legitimate sex scenes.
There were way more sex scenes than necessary.
Yes, but they weren't like the ones that you're used to now, which are actually pretty good.
Look.
Like nothing like 50 Shades of Grey.
When
you know?
when Maverick and Kelly LeBrock get together in Top Gun, that is an important sex scene because these are two characters who were at each other's throats and all of a sudden they come together in angry love sex. That makes sense. The love scenes in this film were just there because the actors were told, you're gonna get to fool around with this hot chick for 6 hours while we do these scenes. And they're just like, all right, I'll do it for $80 then, okay.
But the shots, that's where I was going. The shots were horrible. They were not flattering at all. And there was a couple that you're watching, you're just like, oh, no, make it stop.
Because they don't know how to kiss. These people don't know how to kiss each other. It was embarrassing. Anyway.
So, video, audio.
What's up?
Some
what
of the
music?
audio was hard to hear too.
Some of
like,
it, yeah,
to understand.
But that's to be expected in a low budget film.
Yeah.
But I give it a 4.
I feel like if there was some closed captioning, we would have probably picked up on a couple more. No.
No.
Some more jokes, maybe.
Do you think there was more there? Do you? The one funny joke, and Bich totally called me out on it because I was like groaning my balls off, and then Bich said, "Oh, that's kind of funny." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So they're going somewhere. Samurai Cop and Teddy are going somewhere, and Samurai Cop does this majestic crawl and leap over a fence.
Over a gate.
Over a gate.
A gate.
And when he gets over on the other side, Teddy had like scrunched himself underneath the gate.
Which there was perfectly enough room. Like it was done pretty effortlessly.
Yeah. There was no reason that he had to do this giant over the top. And Samurai Cop asked him, "What are you doing? Why'd you go under?" And he says,
I'm an undercover cop.
But so yeah, that was actually kind of funny.
It was good.
Moving on.
Special effects.
Okay, so there were special effects in this film. And one that I'd like to get to is the arm chop off. You actually watched the arm chop off, right? Because you didn't know it was coming. So there was an earlier scene where
that was okay.
Where they had to chop somebody's head off, and they didn't show any of it, but they did make some interesting sounds, and you had to hide your face.
I did. So
you're so very delicate. It's beautiful.
To let everyone know, I don't watch scary movies. So that was my one request for doing this here.
That's why we didn't watch a Serbian film. Anyway, go ahead.
Because I would have just like done this the whole time.
She would have not been very useful for the review.
Yeah, I would decide. Just like, oh, I don't know, lots of weird noises. So that's. I was pretty happy about that part for the movie. That there was only that one scene. I wasn't sure what I was going to see because I just very
Sakura.
Visual.
Wait,
Sakura.
Sakura. Okay.
So I did enjoy that they had like it was kind of tasteful and what they did with gore and blood.
What was? The head? Or
Yeah.
you're talking about the arm? Because the arm was hysterical.
Oh no, like the head.
Okay. Yeah, they did that head tastefully because it was mostly off camera. But the arm getting chopped off was ridiculous. It was basically, oh, I want to put this here. It was basically, the guy had tucked his arm inside of his shirt, and then they had like a PVC pipe sticking out of his shirt with blood just, it was.
And all the blood, especially with the color correction and everything.
It was weirdly red. Like,
it was bright.
Hyper red.
Yes, very, very, very bright red.
Yeah.
Like, not even like ketchup-y. It was bright red.
It was orangey red, yeah. It was wrong, so.
Sometimes it had a little bit of pink in it, like the scene where they slit the wife's
yeah.
It was a little pink.
So special effects get a big old farty downfall.
Yeah.
Because that was not good. Even the squibs that would go off with gunfires was terrible. All right, what's next? Special effects sucks. Oh, okay. So this is. Do you have another one after Does It Work? No, you don't. That's a surprise one. So, Vic, what I ask of everybody who comes here is when we watch a bad movie, even bad movies can work depending on what they are trying to be and what they become. So, what do you think that Samurai Cop was trying to be?
I would say it was like a cop action film.
Okay, and probably not a kung fu movie, because those
Definitely
are
not. There was
those are
not
completely
much...
different types of films. Okay, so
they tried to throw in a little bit of that.
Sure,
but I think that it was definitely a cop action film.
Okay, so on the level or in the genre of like Beverly Hills Cop, of Die Hard, of Heat, stuff like that. Do you think it worked?
Honestly, I would have to.
Yes.
I'd have to say it worked. What? I think it worked.
Oh.
I mean, I got from the beginning to the end, and there was action. There was. And there's principles.
Well, shit. You're actually right. It does work as a cop action film. I can't believe I'm saying this, but
I think it worked. I wouldn't say it was like great, but
okay. Hold on.
If you had a checklist, I think
I am willing to say that this film works as a cop action film.
Okay.
But it does not work as a film. Okay, so because in a film, you're supposed to have motivations, you're supposed to have movement from one scene to another, you're supposed to have 3 acts, you're supposed to have...
So that was, remember in with the drug bust in the very beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, there's something bad going to happen with this drug bust. Something's going to go wrong.
Yes.
So that there's an up and down and everything going. The normal transitions of a movie, like, oh, it's introduction and then something bad's going to happen.
Right.
Either in the beginning or, of course, towards the climax. You don't know. But it never did.
Nope.
Like, it never got to that point.
Our heroes were never in danger. They were never... Like,
they tried.
In the general screenwriting, you have 3 acts, and in the end, toward the end of the second act, you have your heroes or your protagonists at the low point of the film.
He was getting laid at that point.
He was getting laid at the end of the second act, while his previous girlfriend, what was her name? Peggy.
She was getting burned.
Murdered. Tortured and murdered.
Yes. We don't know if she was actually murdered, but from
she got
what
hot
they did,
grease poured on her vagina or whatever it was. I don't know
Yeah,
where, but it was
everywhere,
off camera, so
yeah.
you don't know where. But we're assuming lower than here because this was in frame.
Yeah.
So yes, while girl 1 was getting brutally murdered or tortured, he
at
was
least.
literally having sex with girl 2.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
That's not how you write a character. That's not a hero arc.
He was supposed to be the hero too, so you're just like, wow. But I mean, I guess you do kind of have the feel that it's casual. But
Well, she did.
But-
She did playfully ask that other detective to fuck
which
her.
that's the other thing. I wasn't sure if that was a joke.
Hey, preacher,
Yeah?
you and I got nothing to do. Let's fuck.
Or if it
This
was.
whole movie was a joke.
I try to give it credit.
Okay, so I think we agree that this movie does work as a cop action film,
Yes.
but not as a film.
No.
No, don't watch this film. I mean, listen, if you're gonna watch it with a bunch of your friends and get drunk, yeah, do it. Which brings us to our very last question, and that is, Bick, how many drinks would it take you to enjoy this film?
Almost a full is what I've had to drink
Okay.
while watching this. I would say
Not enough?
definitely not enough. I would not watch it again.
Oh my God, I would never watch. I would never watch this again.
For your average person, I would go in, not totally just like obliterated, because you want to laugh at some of the stuff because it's so bad. I found myself constantly turning over and like, did you just see that? Did that really just happen? Wait, is this post?
This movie had the most amount of whats from me
Yeah.
that in this series, the most amount of whats, because the level of incompetence of filming this movie, acting in it, directing it, writing it, putting it together, color correcting it,
Everything you did was wrong.
all of the things.
Oh, the
just-
scenes that we saw that were like so many of the similar things that went from one scene to another that should have been at different time lapses and everything.
You were talking about transitions.
Yes.
There were no appropriate transitions in this film. Like if you go from two characters in one place and then you're needing them to get to another place, you don't just jump to that next scene where those two characters are in that next place. There has to be a transition scene between to show some passage of time, just to make it more or less abrupt to your audience. And this movie just said, F that.
You had to do the work yourself.
We're just this movie was hard to watch.
It was like you're like,
Now,
okay.
now we're here and people are naked and having sex. Oh, I guess that's what we're doing then.
So I would say definitely you need to be some sort of intoxicated watching this.
I need
a
a
little
number.
bit more than tipsy, inebriated, definitely.
Need a number. Gotta have a number. 'Cause
How many
I
drinks?
I put a thing on the screen about number of drinks.
20 minutes later.
I'm not very good with like beer amounts, so I would have to go with if you were having a cocktail. For your average woman, I'd probably say at least 2 to 3 cocktails. For your guy, probably closer to like 4.
Okay, and we're
And
gonna
each cocktail is going to have a pretty good amount of alcohol in it.
2 or 3 or just 2? You think?
Wait, guys?
No,
Women?
no. Inside the cocktail. So
Each cocktail is going to have 2 to 3 ounces of
Okay.
alcohol.
So that means that you're giving a weird range between 7 and 11 drinks.
Yeah,
Okay.
7-11 ounces of alcohol.
Okay, that is extreme. But that's your answer, and I have to
To
accept-
like enjoy the movie?
Yes, enjoy.
Oh, I don't know if that's even possible. If you understood what you were like going into,
Yes.
but if you sat down and expected this to be a good movie with just no matter how much you drank, like if you drank more it would become a good movie, I don't think it's possible.
You're right. There are some.
There's good perspective.
Oh my God, I almost went super rude there for a second. But yeah, there are some situations where you can't drink yourself into having a good time doing it. I'm going to give a more direct answer, and I'm going to say, to enjoy this movie, you must have 6 drinks before you start it. You don't even attempt.
Okay, so
You don't
yeah.
even attempt to start this film before 6 drinks are inside of you. And then you want to make sure you have 4 while you're watching it.
Because you want to stay at that level.
You have to. And not only does that add up to 10 drinks, which is the most I've ever given any movie, you have to, and I implore you do this, have 3 of your very good friends who know you pretty well all around doing the same thing, because this movie is more fun with people. I don't think, and I agree with you, there is no number of drinks that would make me enjoy this without watching it with you and other people.
And the reason why you would want more people to watch this with is literally so you can make fun of the movie.
Yes, because it can be funny. But I implore you, 6 before you start. You know, this is not a, hey, everybody, come over to my house, let's watch a movie film.
I was drinking coffee before we started, and I regretted that. As soon as I noticed what was happening on the screen,
regretted that.
I started pouring, and I unfortunately never got to that point where I caught up enough by drinking.
That's true. You started pouring the rum like 25 minutes into it. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work.
No, and I tried. I tried to keep pouring, but I just...
But then when all the nonsense started happening, that's when you kind of like perked up and you're just like, what the is going on? All right, well, listen, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to torture you with this horrific film. This was terrible.
I'm glad it wasn't a horror film, though.
No, I wouldn't have made you do that. So,
yeah.
Once again, we did some shoots today. I don't know if any of that's going to end up on the screen behind us. Maybe just more of the stuff that we've done in the past. But, Beck, thank you so much for...
Don't thank me yet. I do want to say one thing, though.
Oh, boy.
There was some actually decent... There's some decent characters there, like some actors. Actors, their bodies, that's where I was going with.
Oh.
Like, there's a couple of good, like, eye candy shots. So, if you kind of like to watch to look, no.
That is not a redeeming value of this film.
I mean, typically you would want that, right? There
was
a couple. There's maybe like 2 shots.
There's like 2 minutes
of
good, like, female bodies and you know what? Okay, so the guy playing Samurai Cop does have he's very fit. He's worked out really, really hard for this film. He looked really good in it.
Well, can I tell you why like that's such a big deal to me?
Please do, yes.
It was so bad. Everything was so bad.
That you were searching hard.
Like, it kind of was a total surprise and pleasant surprise to see these tiny little snippets of what a good film would be.
You were all about the butts in this film. You enjoyed the butts.
Well, I'm working on the butt right now. You know, like every girl in this time is. That's all you see on Instagram these days.
Oh, those are like mostly butts. Fake butts, though, right? I mean, everybody's like getting injections and weird shit done to their butts.
They don't tell you that, though.
Well, no, but...
So you think that's real. That's become the standard. I thought that was one cool factor about this movie with the women.
No fake boobs.
No fake boobs, and even like down to her nails were natural. So that was nice. I mean, I'm trying, guys.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to make him feel less bad for picking this movie.
Oh, no, I picked this movie specifically because I know it's bad. And you didn't give me any time to prepare. I mean, you gave me literally 24 hours. So, I mean, you know, I did the best I could. I haven't seen Bich in a long time, so I jumped on the opportunity to see her because her time is very valuable. She's very very busy with 100 things. So I can't thank her enough for being with me today to do all this. And that's going to do it for this 17th episode of Models and Movies. I forgot to say that it's the 17th episode. Bich, thank you so much for being here, and I hope we're still friends after this.
I might have to sleep on that one.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.